Ahoy hoy, I'm Planarwalk, and I'd like everyone to please just do me a favour. Ignore my wet hair. Just be glad I'm not Brainy Beaver, or I would have said something completely different. Anyway, a few days ago I was talking with a flat earther, and this flat earther actually did one of the most epic debunks I have ever seen. But not only that, this flat earther was brought into my Discord server by Oo. Yes, I'm talking to Oo, Dawn. Dawn pretty much hands me content to make videos about on a plate. But before we get into this Discord conversation, I just want to point out one of the greatest statements ever made. And it was said by this flat earther.
Hello, I'm Right the Hand. Anyone who says they're fine with killing unborn babies probably has a mental issue, and I would suggest against breeding or reproduction. I don't see the irony in the statement that I've made there.
The reason why that may have been the greatest statement to ever been made was because of how much irony it contained. Also, I should probably work on my conspiracy Catz impressions. I'm pretty sure in the next part I'll nail it. So in this conversation on Discord, this person said one of the reasons why boats appear to go over the horizon was because of perspective. So I asked him, what is the formula for perspective? Now, he didn't answer that. Instead, he gave answers like this one.
Hello, show me the formula for air visibility due to atmosphere conditions. I'd love to see that.
See, I told you that I could do really good conspiracy Catz impressions. So I responded by saying I'm not talking atmospheric conditions, I'm talking about perspective. Two different things.
So, atmospheric conditions doesn't have an impact on how far you can see? Wow, ooh, really interesting. Maybe that's why you think things disappear bottom up?
Now what this person doesn't seem to understand is perspective doesn't deal with how far you can see. All it deals with is the angular size of an object to an observer. Now we can use perspective to determine whether an object will be visible to an observer if we know how good their eyesight is. But when we calculate the perspective part, we don't factor in how good your eyesight is, because it's irrelevant to that part. But unfortunately I wasn't able to explain all that to him, because he typed pretty fast, but he typed with less coherency than if I were to do this.
Yet, perspective has to deal with how far you can see, because if you have a heavy fog, you're not going to be able to see anything. How can you see if the atmosphere is cooled it? That's why you think things disappeared bottom up. You totally disregard atmospheric conditions and lensing effect of the water in the air. I just made that up.
That actually intrigued me. It seemed like he was trying to form some kind of answer as to why ships disappear bottom up over the horizon. So I asked him, does fog just block the bottom of objects now?
That's why you didn't answer the question of can you see taller objects from further away. Now you're starting to use that little brain you have. This fog sit on the surface of the earth, or does it get thicker the higher you up go into the atmosphere? What the hell did I just say then? Would you say the thickest part of fog is at the surface level of the earth at Planarwalk #663?
Now it was late and I had a live stream with Dusty the next day, so I couldn't be bothered looking up the answer, so I just said, probably.
That's not a probably, it's a definite. So you can definitely see taller objects from further away, and the thickest part of the atmosphere, that's unbelievable. And the thickest part of the atmosphere is definitely at sea level or closest to the floor. Figure that one out. Combine those two aspects with viewing angle from the object to the observer, and that's your bottom first disappearing act.
Now flat earthers may think, oh yeah, that's a good argument, I'm going to use that. But here's the problem with that argument. When objects disappear over the horizon, they don't just simply appear to disappear bottom up. They actually get lower. So I asked, what makes an object appear lower as it goes over the horizon?
It's simply because air is not perfectly clear, especially air that is in top of the water, because it creates a very dramatic cleansing effect that you have not seen. The distortion heat will create on... Oh, what's punctuation? Heat will create on pavement. First, you know how small Earth would have to be for you to be able to see a boat go over the curb from the horizon.
It was about at this point when I realized this guy is going to do an epic debunk. You see, hot pavement will cause the air just above it to be less dense due to the heat, and this causes light to refract upwards. So I actually...
Second again, it appears to sink into Earth, Beck perspective vanishing point and the dimension angle of your view. Lots of words there, not necessarily in the order they should be.
You know, it'd be really nice if you could just type things out as one paragraph. That'd be great. So I was wondering, and I did ask him, was he talking about refraction?
Is perfectly clear? No question mark. It was a question.
No, of course he is not perfectly clear. So you're talking about refraction, right? And it actually took him a while to answer that. I was getting a bit disappointed. I thought that he wasn't going to do the epic debunk that I thought he was going to do.
Hello, look at my picture, it's lovely. Why does the pencil look lower?
Refraction. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Your argument is literally refraction. Why does it take so long for flat earthers to answer a question? I just wanted to know if their argument was refraction, and it was.
So not the earth curving down under it, congratulations.
So me being generous, I just wanted to make sure. Is that the answer you want to go with? Do you lock in D for refraction?
No, that is the answer. Are you sure you want to go with earth curve? 'Cause I've showed you how lending effect, can make objects disappear. Now you need to show me that the earth is a huge ball.
Remember when you said this?
Would you say the thickest part of fog is at the surface level of the earth at Planarwalk #663? Then you need to show me there is gravity. Then you need to show that gravity of strong enough to hold water to ball. Doesn't make any sense what I just said. What does the thickest part of the atmosphere having to be at sea level have to do with refraction?
So obviously he didn't see my point, so I asked him. Thicker fog is denser, correct?
Refraction is happening over the accumulation of air, so the more air that gets in between you and the object, the more dramatic the effects will be. Punctuation, what happened to that? Air is water, buddy. Especially near the ocean or above bodies of water, that air is going to be large percentage water.
Is thicker fog more dense?
Hello. That's why all your boats over curve has to happen at the ocean, where you get all of that distortion from the evaporated water.
God damn it, you are dense. Answer my question. Is thicker fog more dense?
Obviously, stupid. All air is fog. It's just a level of water in each cubic meter.
So if thicker fog is denser, and the closer you get to the sea, the thicker the fog, then light should be refracted downwards. Therefore, objects should appear higher. Congratulations! You debunked yourself.
Nope. Why would thing appear in the sky?
Look, that's not what I meant. And you clearly don't know how light behaves. Otherwise, you wouldn't be making the claims that you're making. Light gets bent towards the denser medium. This is simple stuff. I understand it far better than you do, clearly.
You think ships disappear because of curved, not because of refraction or anything to do with light, so how would you know how light behave?
Because I took a basic science class in high school which teaches you how light behaves. It's honestly really simple stuff. But I do have to give credit where credit is due. You did debunk yourself, and it was truly one of the most wonderful debunkings I have ever seen. Even if you didn't realize it yourself. But you know what? For giving me this brilliant video, you deserve to have your channel linked in the description. I just urge people, do not spam him with nasty comments. Yes, he's a flat earther, but he doesn't create flat earth content. He actually doesn't really create a lot of content. He has like 2 videos. But who knows, you might find one of them useful at some point. I can't really say, seeing as I'm not a mechanic or anything. But also, big shout out to Conspiracy Catz who helped me with this video. I did imitate him for a bit, but then he came in and took over. Bet you didn't even notice. But anyway, leave a like and subscribe if you like this video. Leave a comment on any video ideas you might have. I mean, Dawn just gives me so many video ideas, but I gotta get them from somewhere else eventually. As always, a big shout out to my $20 patrons, What Jesus and Agnostic Aussie. If you want to support me financially, you can do so on Patreon. Link will be in the description. But anyway, I will see you in the next video. Between you and me, thank you for watching.